And we should be live. Hey everyone, welcome to the Crowdcast demo for September 16th. Yeah, I'm excited to show you guys what we have. My name is Sai. I'm the CEO of Crowdcast. The way that I think this presentation will go is basically I'll go through some slides and show you exactly what the main value proposition is of Crowdcast. How do we make webinars not suck, essentially? And then after that, we'll dive into a live demo or actually create an event and show you what's possible. And then we'll show some examples of other people doing Crowdcast and what you can do with that. And then we'll dive into the Q&A. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want in the Q&A section. It helps everybody else, especially the ones who didn't realize they had that question. And then at the end of that, we'll actually start inviting some folks on screen, just to kind of hang out, chat, and ask questions in person. So let me get started. I'm gonna share my screen. Cool. All right, so you should see my screen right now. So to explain why Crowdcast is really valuable, we have to first start out with why webinars are really terrible. So in a traditional webinar situation, you have the before, the live, and the after scenarios, the states. In the before state, you have a giant form that you have to fill out. And when you finally fill that out, most of the time people drop off even before then. But if you fill it out, you get an email. And in the email, it says that you're going to start the webinar in, let's say, 2 weeks. And 2 weeks later, you click on a URL to go to the webinar or WebEx, and you realize you have to download a bunch of software. So then you download some software, and then you finally join the event, and then you realize there's basically no way to actually interact, with the exception of a tiny little box you can type in a question. But you actually have no idea if anyone's going to answer that question. You have no idea who sees it. You have no idea who else is watching the event, and it feels really stale and siloed. And as soon as the event is over, then the event disappears. If you show up 2 minutes late, and too bad, right? You'll sometimes get an email saying that, hey, we'll send you an email recording. And so maybe a few days later, you get the recording of the event, but that's it. It could have been just a recording. There's no point of doing it live in that case. So the way that we do it on Crowdcast is actually we've intelligently combined the before, live, and after states into one single URL. So what that means is all the links on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus or anywhere else on the internet that points to your registration page is also pointing to your live event and is also pointing to the post event. So all those marketing, all that work that you do at the beginning continues to pay off forever. In the before state, we make it dead simple to join. There's no complicated forms. It's just a one-click registration. You choose to log in with Facebook, Twitter, Google+, or even just an email account. And as soon as you join, there's no waiting. You can actually start diving in. You can start chatting. You can start asking questions. You can start answering questions. You can start meeting everybody else in the audience. And so this is, even though the event hasn't started yet, you have all this ability to interact. When the event goes live, there's 3 primary ways to interact with everyone. One is chat, the other one's the real-time polls that we've created, and then a really amazing Q&A system that are automatically time-stamped. And I'll get into all this detail during the demo. Now, what does the host see? So from the host point of view, besides just standard emails, the host knows where in the world are people tuning in from. What's the gender balance of the audience? Who are the most influential members of the audience? Who's asking the best questions, and who's the most active? And you can take all these data points, even the answers from the polls, and you can use those to actually segment your messaging to your audience. So if you just wanted to message the people who said they really like the color blue, well, you could do that. And finally, as soon as the event is over, the video is automatically available and the event continues living. In other words, all the marketing efforts you continue to pay off because the event can still be joined late. And this creates essentially a free inbound marketing strategy for you. And your customers essentially become your marketing department. And I'll show you what that means exactly, because every single question itself can be shared, and we'll dive into that in the demo as well. Now, we tested out, when we first launched Crowdcast, we tested out with a conference, and we ended up making it the largest virtual conference in history. So we had 30,000 participants from all over the world and 36 speakers over 4 days. And it was pretty mind-blowing. So what we know is Crowdcast, beyond all these features, is built to scale as well. And since we've been out, we've had some amazing customers, everything from Baremetrics to Meteor to WordPress to Accelerator and Thrive Market, people doing product demos, product launches, Q&As with their customers, hangouts with their fans, everything. And the response has been just amazing. People just, and these are all unsolicited, tweets and messages, right? Things like, "This was the coolest sign-up process to a webinar I've seen so far," or "Wow, that was the most frictionless webinar sign-up ever," right? People are really enjoying, or I started using Crowdcast and I love it. Like, people just genuinely enjoy and are excited to see something where it's not a boring webinar experience. Cool. Well, I'm going to dive into the new features and everything, but we'll actually do that in the live demo. So let's dive into some, let's just basically create a live event. So I'm gonna pretend like we're starting a new event. This is the one that we're currently at. So new event. Let's call this event. Let me see if everything's still all good. Cool. Call it My Awesome Event. This is a test description. Now let's say this event starts at 1 p.m. our time. We'll make it unlisted so that it doesn't show up on our profile page. We'll make the required we'll require registration so that we can get people's information. And in this case, we won't charge, but you can actually charge, if you wanted to, a ticket price for your events. You can create the event. And it is just loading up. Cool. And so just like that, your event is ready. And that's it. There's no extra step. That's it. So you get this custom URL that's actually a permanent link to these events, no matter if you're sending people to the registration page or the event is already over. The URL is still the same, and you can customize it. So you can call it whatever you want, really, and that URL is permanent. So pick it wisely. And you can of course change anything else, as well as add a call to action. So if you want to do like sell a book or sell a product, and you want to say buy my book here, and here's the link to the book, you can do that. You can see there's 3 main ways you can interact. In fact, let me sort of keep the Crowdcast demo in the background so I can show you what that was all. But you have the chat where anyone can meet anybody else. You have the polls where you can actually create a poll even before the event starts, so that by the time the event actually starts, let's say in 2 hours, I already have context on the audience. I already know what they're interested in. And then for the Q&A, or the questions and topics, I can allow other people to upvote each other's questions. So let me actually go to an event that is not just an empty event. So you can see what that looks like. So here's an event called the Hack Summit. So this was that large event that I was talking about. When you are first click on the link, you'll just see an image, a title, and a description of the event. And you just get the simple watch button. So when you click on watch, it's going to ask you to register or log in with something. So I'm just going to choose Facebook. And it's basically just logging me in with Facebook. And that's it. So one-click registration for this event. And you can see, you got the title at the top. Here's their call to action to learn more about the Hack Pledge. You can see everyone chatting on the right side. Even though we're showing up late to this event, we can still see all the questions that people are asking right down here. And we can see all the votes or the way that people voted about certain questions, like, have they ever programmed the Ruby on Rails before? Or how do you protect your productivity? But the best thing is the questions are actually timestamped. So this is what I mean by when I say that earlier, is that even though the event has already happened, I may not want to watch 60 minutes of the whole event. I just might want to know, why did Twitter swap Ruby on Rails for Scala, right? So I can actually click on View Answer, and it jumps to that moment in the video where David actually answered that question. Now, we take that one step further, so you can actually share that question and share that answer, because each one of these questions have unique URLs on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google+, so that your friends or your viewers' friends can click on it, which brings them back to your event to register, which eventually jumps them right to that moment in the video where you're answering that question. And then we take it even one step further, where we're starting to surface these questions on Google, so that when someone types in, why did Twitter swap Ruby on Rails for Scala, soon you'll see these questions pop up in there as well. And then it's going to bring them right back to your event to register, and then jump right to that moment in the video where you're answering that question. Now, I've shown you sort of the different types of interaction abilities, but let me jump into showing you what sort of data and analytics you can get. So for for the event that we're in right now, this Crowdcast, I'm going to jump in and see what analytics I have. So I can see that there's 28 people, and the people are from all over the world. We have someone from Hawaii, it looks like, Chania. And you can actually zoom in. You can see that, I'm going to guess, it looks like Seattle has 2 people there. San Jose's got 1. Yeah, so you can actually, Kingston, Jamaica. You can actually zoom in and just see, all the different places people are tuning in from live. You can see what the gender balance is. And now we get gender information from Facebook and Google. So if you log in with Twitter or an email, we just put you in the unknown bucket. We know where are people signing in from. So are they using Facebook more? Are they using Twitter more? We see Connor's in Seattle. Based on what people are logging in with, maybe you can optimize your marketing. We can see that we have a big tweeter in the room, Jane Portman. She's got 852 followers, and we can point people out like that. And then we can see who are the most active users and who are the users with the most popular question. Brent Adam, he asked a question in the Q&A, and he's got the most upvotes right now. And then Connor and Julianne and Dylan are the most active users in the chat right now. So all these information is available to you as a host before, live, and after the event is over. I can also email anyone in the audience, directly send any message right to their inbox. And this is also applicable at any point in the state of the event. And we can also take that one step further, and we can export those users and the emails into a CSV if you want to import them into your CRM system, or just do some sort of other sort of filtering. And in that CSV, you actually also get the poll data. So what who exactly said yes, who said they're interested in community building. You can use that data to segment your emails and messaging. So it looks like there's 3 people here who've done webinars in the past, and people are really interested in doing sales, community building, and virtual conferences. And some people have used GoToWebinar in the past. So we know all these things even before the event started. Now, yeah, I think it'd be a good time to jump into the Q&A. So, in fact, the first question, I would have to sort of stop screen sharing to explain that. All right. So our first question is, how do I screen share, from Brett Adams. Now you notice as I started answering the question, it shows up on screen, and it shows up on screen when my video is on. So if I'm screen sharing, it wouldn't do that. So yeah, so how do I screen share? So I'm gonna screen share so you can see how I screen share. So this is gonna get a little bit trippy, but you can see from my point of view, on the right pane we have the Crowdcast widget in Google Hangouts, and then on the left side we have this green button. I'm gonna sort of hover over it multiple times so you can see it. That says screen share. Now it's really confusing when you're screen sharing your screen share, as we're doing right now, but when I'm focused on other tabs, it makes much more sense. So hopefully that answers your question, Brett. And then Maria, and if anybody in the audience wants to come on screen and ask any questions, let me know. There's a button here where I can actually invite users to the Hangout that I'm in right now. So if you write in the chat that you're interested in that, I can pull you up on screen. So Maria asks, when people sign up, can I get a list of participants? So yes, when you click on this icon over here, you can see who are the people in the event right now. I mean, who registered for your event, and then you can of course click on the export users and emails. You'll get a full list of all the people who registered for your event, as well as what polls they've answered, what they logged in with, and any what the general information is, any sort of analytics data that we have on them will show up in that export as well. Cool. Well, there doesn't seem to be any other questions, so I think it'd be a good time to just wrap things up. So I'm going to say done answering for Maria. Thank you for your question. Let me switch out of the screen share. Cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the event. Looks like Maria says this is awesome. Also, this is another ability you can actually invite or bring up the comments on screen. Yeah, thank you guys for being for tuning into this demo. What I encourage you to do is just simply go to the top left side of your Crowdcast window and click on New Event, and just make a test event, and go through the process of doing one of these with a friend or two, so you can actually get the sense of how it actually works. A tricky part can be when you click on the Start Hangout, and when you first do an event, it's gonna it just asks you to verify your YouTube account and connect Crowdcast to your Google Hangout. But that's just a one-time thing, and after that, it's pretty smooth sailing from there. So thank you guys, and if you have any questions, feel free to click on the help link. It's also in the nav bar on the left side, and someone from the team will get in touch with you ASAP. So thank you and have an awesome day.